Hello, how are you doing? I hope you are having a good day. So, today we are going to review again AlphaGo's online games, this time against Kim Jiseok 9dan. By the way, in my Korean Pros reaction video, I noticed that I misspelled Kim Jiseok 9dan's name in English. So, I'm really sorry about that. His name is usually spelled with Jiseok. I I'm just very familiar with his Korean name, and then it kind of confused me. Anyway, so he is one of the very top players in Korea with many titles. He's very famous for his accurate reading and fighting styles. And according to a news article, he played against AlphaGo just one game, and this is the one apparently. So let's see. This game was interesting in that Kim Jiseok 9dan kind of copied AlphaGo's opening style that tells us that they were studying AlphaGo's games all along. And that seemed to be working in the beginning, but then eventually he didn't manage. So let's see the game. AlphaGo is white. And just to give you the result first, AlphaGo white won by resignation. So let's see. Black opened with 2 for 3 points. White took 4 star points, 2 star points. And black chose this one, which is the AlphaGo enclosure. And then white approached it here. And then black pincered, typical Joseki sequence. And then white came out here. So apparently AlphaGo chose this sequence in many games, and that makes us question this Joseki because we all learned that this is supposed to be bad for white. That's why our Joseki usually follow this way, like that, and then white would often tiger mouse and black would extend. This is like very classic Joseki. And actually, I think black has the option to come here, and usually white would hane, and then black could do this, which would make the shape the same way. But we learned to jump because white wouldn't do this anyway. But now that AlphaGo is doing this all the time, I wonder if that would change the Joseki. Another thing is that many pros believed in recent years that white should actually attach here instead of this one. But now that AlphaGo is usually playing like this, I wonder if that would change pro players' opinion about this Joseki. So to continue, black exchanged this and cut. Previously, we thought this black's outside was too good compared to white's corner. But I guess white got sente, so I'm not sure anymore. Anyway, black has really good outside moyo still, and white is reducing, and black has shoulder hit. The white answering. This attach is interesting. It's blocking white's, for example, white's knight's move, or making white's invasion more difficult with this blocking. And then white could actually tenuki, but white answered. Or maybe black knew that white would answer. Now that I think about it, black's capturing here in Sente would be too big. So I guess this was a Sente exchange and black came in. So now that black is so strong here and maybe around here, these white three stones seem kind of weak. And this is like typical Kim Jiseok 9-dan move. Very strong, and it's a kind of move that you can play only if you are very confident with your reading. Because if you're not planning to cut whites off, all these moves would be very bad exchange. So when you see blacks move like this, you can already feel that black's determined to cut whites like that. And you need to be confident with your reading because if you're wrong, this black group can be in trouble, or if you lose this one stone, for example, that would be too much. But apparently, there was nothing white could do, so white just jumped and black came out, of course. And then black came out and black made these exchanges and then came here. So actually there was a few highlight about this game in one of the news articles in Korea. And then in that news article, professional players said that at this point, like typically pro players would think black is ahead because white's these four stones are in trouble and this one stone in the corner is becoming weak. So when white tried to like save this group, black's Atari here is a typical Tetsuji that makes black's shape really good. And then because white is so weak around here, it will be difficult to start this ko. And white doesn't have like a very big ko threat that we can see at once. So the article said that most pros thought black was ahead at this point and white was in trouble. And then white started the ko immediately and then came over here. So white captured these two stones while black got these two ponukis and black could easily save this group like that. So black is all connected and then this corner is weak. And then that news article about the Korean pros analysis said that many pros thought white would come about here and try to attack these three stones. And I think that's very intuitive plan because white just got very strong around here. That was a new change. And then it's very easy for us to think in terms of what we can do from what we just gained, right? Well, I lost here, but then I got here, and this one stone is alive now. So what can I do? Maybe I can attack these three stones. But actually, in the actual game, AlphaGo played here, and some players, professional players, thought this seemed slow. And then black came over here, securing these three stones. This is also looking at coming about here and then capturing these two stones. If white answers around here, then black could continue around here, supporting these three stones. Or maybe just making a tari and then coming around here. So black came over here and then white blocked here, which looks somewhat slow, but then it's actually really good move because it has this Atari and coming over here in Miai. So let's say black came over here to save these five stones. White's Atari here is like really good place. And it's so painful to connect here because there's another Atari. And with that, White has like really good shape in this corner. Later, if White gets to connect, that's even better. And there's more end games that White can do. And this is just unbearable for Black. So when White blocked here, Black chose to cut. If White tries to come out, Black can either do this or just capture the two stones. When Black cut here, White came here, and that makes these five stones very painful. It's probably not possible to save these five stones. So basically, when White played this diagonal move, White was not just saving the corner, but already looking at this block and then having this Miai. It sounds easy when it's done and we are seeing it, but it was like very nice. Something it's easy to miss. Anyway, so White came over here and Black had to give up these five stones like that. And eventually White captured the center and saved the corner, but Black got Sente. This was, I think, just some end game moves for Black, and these were all Sente for White. And then was also Sente, and White captured the corner. So when Black came inside the corner, Black was not really planning to live in the corner, but more like forcing White to make all the bad exchanges, like this push and the wedge here, so that Black would get some moves around the outside. And then also later, Black can get some squeeze moves, meaning White will need to have like 3 or 4 moves inside, making White's territory smaller. So Black exchanged that and came over here. At this point, White is a little ahead in this game, according to the professional analysis, because of White's territory in the center and this corner. But Black has a hope because Black has a big potential over here. Black just needs to make big enough territory. And then White came inside, exploiting Black's weakness. And actually, this kind of move is why pro players didn't do this enclosure before. So it seems like AlphaGo knew, but still played in many games. So at this point, after Black's extension, White could start a call by doing this Hane. It looks strange, but it's one of the frequently used move in order to make call in your opponent's area. So Black can start call directly like this, or maybe answer once and then start call like this. But AlphaGo didn't start call, probably because White is ahead, and then starting a call would make the game complicated. So instead of doing that, AlphaGo Haned here, which is an end game. And then it's kind of Sente, I guess. But in the actual game, Black didn't answer because of this Aji. So Black just made the shape stronger. And with that, maybe there is no more call. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like with this connection, Black could actually try to capture. Hmm. Maybe something like that. Anyway, it seems like white is not interested in saving this corner anyway. And white came over here, very big place. And black is trying to block white. But white is coming out. Luckily, black can capture these two stones. That's why black pushed here. And then white is doing the end game. Oh, that was like really interesting. So when white came over here, black cannot block this one because theirs is cut. And if black takes here, white can cut here. But black played here, and that means if white answers, black would block this one. And that has a small difference, which is if white does that, then black can take this one. And that's like really good because black's corner is alive. So when black came over here, white didn't answer here, but played this one. And then just took the territory on the side. And now now black's corner is alive. And white is connected as well. And many pros question this white's capturing here. Actually, that was the last point on that news article that no one, no pro level human would play this one because black cannot connect. So one thing is that if black connects here, this cut is very painful. And then white's connection here is sente because if black doesn't answer, white can do this and that. And with this, the corner is dead. So when this connection is sente, there is no way that black will attempt to save these two stones. But again, white is ahead at this point, and capturing these two stones is very clear and very safe. So I guess that's why AlphaGo played here. And then when black played a knight move, some pros thought that the game could become very close at this point. But AlphaGo had a really cool endgame plan, which is starting with shoulder hit, and when black needs to attach, white's this diagonal attach was a very sharp move. And with this one, there was no way black could save this group. In the actual game, black kind of tried, but with this one, like that, these black stones were captured. So in the actual game, black tried a few things, and then I believe at this point, black resigned. So this game was interesting in that Kim Jiseok 9dan tried AlphaGo opening against AlphaGo, but didn't quite work. AlphaGo's this new Joseki is interesting and makes us question our beliefs about certain Josekis. And over here, when AlphaGo seemed to be in trouble, AlphaGo just used the call and made the game more simpler by capturing these two stones. That didn't look like a good choice in terms of territory because black got all these, and then the corner was hurt. But white had this like a very good follow-up in the corner instead of attacking this black. And then when black came over here, this blocking was a really good choice. And then by capturing the center, white was ahead. And after that, it seems like black didn't really get a chance. So that was the game. AlphaGo against Kim Jiseok 9dan. And I don't really have a plan to review any more games of AlphaGo online, but we will see if there is any other interesting game. Or I might have a game with some other people. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll play a friend. Anyway, that's all for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.